find the like of whatever you got over there, but without the problems that you got over there. When do you think Western democracy was first conceived? Do you think it was just conceived 10 years ago? Do you think it was just conceived when Adam Smith, who advocated capitalism or capitalist doctrine, or Paine with his common sense letters, and the other, do you think this democracy, Western democracy, was just conceived then? No. They trace the roots and history of this democracy back hundreds and hundreds of years to Greece and other locations in the world, in the history of man. But look how long it took them to produce something. 500 years, America. England, Rome, 1,000 years. 1,000 years of stagnation. Is that not a fact? And they had Jesus Christ. God forgive. Peace be upon the prophet. They had the New Testament. They had the Old Testament. And they had a concept of this democracy they call the Western democracy. If you understand it, this Western democracy has its likeness, or its, I would say, its source in their Bible. When they came to this country, what did they call their new democracy? They called it the New Destiny, the New Jerusalem. Now, some of you will sit down because you're weak and you want an excuse to deceive yourself. You want some reason, something to use to excuse yourself from responsibility that your own intelligence requires. So you will say, if that religion is so great, how come the Jews are dominating the Middle East? How come the Western powers are ruling and dominating the earth? That's what you will say. But you won't have the sense to think intelligently and say this power that's now dominating had its ideology too, but was stagnant for 1,000 years. Don't judge the Quran by the people that call themselves Muslims, but judge the people that call themselves Muslims by the Quran. If we would judge Christians, listen, if we would judge Christians by the 1,000 years history of Christianity before the Protestant movement, if we would judge Christianity by that 1,000-year history, we would have to say Christianity is a religion of slavery. It's a religion that denies women the freedom to be educated. We would have to say it's a religion that denies the public the right to education, because that's what it did. It denied the public education, it denied women education. And our prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, when he proclaimed this message in his own life, he didn't only say that male and female, as Allah tells us in the Quran, they are obligated to get an education. Education is an obligation on both male and female. But he also, with the Quran, he gave an incentive to men. He said, any man that will educate 2 daughters will have the paradise. It wasn't just the declaration of their right, there was work and promotion of their right. So does it go for the freeing of slaves and everything else. So, but when we look at the content of Christianity and look at the content of their ideology, we still see slavery, though the people doing something different. The West is doing something different. But their language, the Bible, I read it, is full of slavery. It rejects woman. Yes, it does. It raises up Mary, the Blessed Mary. It raises her up. But it means woman. It discredits woman. And this Western civilization, it speaks so highly of woman's freedom, but it abuses the woman. It excites the insane sexual lust, the subhuman lust in the ignorant male public, and expose our wives and our daughters to their mad sexual rage. So what do you come here? Did you come here to join us in bearing witness to the superiority of Islam? If you didn't, then you come here to be disgraced. You come here to be disgraced. Because the truth of the world, the truth of Islam, the truth of Christianity, the truth of democracy, the truth of communism. Right now they got socialism in France. But what's happening in France? Unemployment, chaos. I thought socialism, I thought communism guaranteed jobs. The biggest problem France got right now is unemployment. Socialist program. Look what the socialist program has done for you and me. Made us satisfied sissies, brutal apes preying on the weak in the ghetto. Lay up and wait for your wife to get a check. Some of us are so bold we go and ask for a check ourselves. I ain't got no job, give me a welfare check. So you want to go on welfare? Okay, sign the papers. You're going on welfare, not for your wife, not for your children. You're going on welfare for you. And you're a strong, able man, right? Yes. So, well, what are we going to do when there's no jobs? Do what the Haitian who got off the boat did. Do what the Korean did that came over here. Do what the Indians do that come over here. Do what the Chinese do that come over here. Do what the Cubans do that come over here. Do what the Arabs do that come over here. Do what these other ethnic groups do that come over here. They come over here and they don't go to Illinois State Employment Office. They don't go to the local employment office here in Harlem or New York. They go to America's resources. And they make a life for themselves. But we have been pampered by the Democrats. The Democrats have made us worthless as a race, economically and politically speaking. Yes, I blame the Democrats. Because they have used us to advance socialism, to open the country up for communism. They have used us. And what do we have to show for what we have given them? Ritualistic support. That's what we've given the Democrats. Ritualistic support. We do what they say like it's a religious ritual. I went to vote in Chicago, and the lady asked me, one of our women, ladies, she asked me, she said, as she did everybody else, say, what are you, Democrat or Republican? I say, do I have to say it? She says, yes. I say, that's un-American. I came to vote for a candidate for the presidency. I didn't come here to have to tell you what party I belong to. And I shouldn't have to. I said, that's un-American. She said, she didn't say it wasn't un-American. She said, well, there's nothing we can do. See, you have to do that. I'm sorry, you have to do it. I said, well, tell me what party most of the people that I see of my community here, what party are they voting with? She said the Democrat. I say, for their sake, make me Democrat today. But we're going to work on it tomorrow. Because if I had my choice, say here's one party, they say they know how to take good care of a donkey. And another party say they know how to take good care of the elephant. I either reject both, or I think I pick the party that can take good care of the elephant, because the elephant is a bigger and more valuable animal. It takes a little more resources and a little more sense to take care of an elephant. But as an American Muslim, I don't have to be an elephant needing care, and I don't have to be a donkey needing care. I can be a Muslim, and I can use these two parties to my advantage as an American. And that's when you become a strong ethnic group, when you start having that kind of intelligence and that kind of courage as an American. But if you don't have that kind of American courage, you are just the slaves. You are the slaves of America. People just not wanted for anything but to be used. So I hope I haven't presented myself in an unbecoming way, and don't think I'm arrogant. I have no arrogance in me. When I say things against you and say things in favor of the Muslims, I'm not bragging. I'm trying to get you to come out of your stupor so your brains will work well. Because I know it's not our fault that we think the way we do. Our minds have been the subject of the most subtle tricks of the highest psychology perhaps on earth. And we have been conditioned and manipulated into this thinking we have. And we have to plead with each other, because in this religion, we are our brother's friend. We are our brother's brother. We should be the mirror for our brother. And we should hold him back from wrong, if we can. Especially when you profess to be Muslim. You profess to be Muslim, and we are Muslim, I'm Muslim. We have to stand by each other.
That's right.
We have to help each other in the right.
Right.
And work together for the good of the whole Muslim community. And in the spirit of God's call to man, the Muslim man, let there rise up a community calling to all that is good and forbidding all that is wrong. And God again, he says, loving him and not fearing the embarrassment that comes from the words of the criticizers, or that comes with the words of the criticizer. You know, some of us, we can be embarrassed right out of our position of strength and dignity by the majority. Peer pressure in an adult world. Isn't that shame? You know, I know peer pressure in grade school, peer pressure on the corner, the teenagers. But now we got peer pressure in the grown-up circles. Peer pressure. You know what's right. You know what's dignified. But you won't do it because there are 50 scums to one dignified person, and you're afraid of the pressure that will come from the 50 scums. We are Muslims. We have to understand that and come out of that thinking. Don't bow down to no pressure but La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Praise be to Allah. So dear beloved Muslims, when I come here to Harlem, I look at a sad situation. It looks like Jamaica. I went to Jamaica, and I thought Jamaica was a land of the blacks. I got to Jamaica, and I saw the Jamaicans doing the domestic servants' work and entertaining in the nightclubs. And I saw the white man and the Asians and others owning the resources and wealth and power of Jamaica, though they had a black man in the Prime Minister's office, the office of Prime Minister. Then when I come to Harlem, I see the same thing. I see people look like they don't have nothing to do today, nowhere to go today. Look like they just lost. Walking around out in the street like they lost. Look like their spirit has been broken. And they can be bought now for 2 cents. That's the way most of them look that I saw when we were driving over here. That's pitiful. And every now and then, it depends on what day it is, I come here on Sunday sometime, and you see them dressed up in their Sunday best. A small group of the Harlemites going to church. And the preacher, you may see him looking like a businessman that goes down to the business office Monday morning, or he may look like a cowboy. City cowboy, city slick cowboy, with a big old hat, looking proud. White man's appointed slave master, one of the ward keepers. That's a shame. To know how long we have hungered for dignity and how important Harlem has been in the black man's demand for self-respect and for respect from others. Harlem has been very significant. There's a great history here of struggle for uplift of the African-American person. And we come here and we see you more dejected, more idle, of less consequence than we see in the brother, perhaps in Chicago or Los Angeles or other places. What does that tell us? That picture says something terrible. It says something that's depressing, but at the same time, it reveals something that's relieving. What does it say? It says this, that the Harlem black man has been exposed too much to the need to respect self and elevate self, to give up that hope. Why he looks so dejected here in Harlem is because he can't give up that hope. If the hope wasn't given up in Chicago, you would see the same despair look in them walking the streets of Chicago. You would see the same broken backs walking in Los Angeles. But the man here, he's been looking all the time into the destiny that says black man will overcome. Black man will be black and established, not white and established. Black man will be black and established. He sees that, but he doesn't see any sign that he's making progress. So it weighs on his back. It depresses him, consciously or not. And the others in Chicago and Los Angeles, those niggers think they're free. Now, excuse me for calling them niggers, but that's their mentality. That's their mentality. They still are back in the days when we called each other niggers and the white man called us niggers. They still back in that frame of mind. They don't want anything for the people. They want something for themselves. And they don't care what they have to do to get it. If that means being a traitor to the whole race, they'll be a traitor to the whole race. It means selling their ancestors' hopes down the drain. They'll sell their ancestors' hopes down the drain. They don't want to remember mom and daddy. They don't want to remember no responsibility except to building me up, making me look like I got over, like I made it. Okay, well, blacks that still have that mind, they can walk around in a Harlem situation and show no depression. Hey, what's happening, baby? Come on, man, let's go. They got energetic. They ready to move. They're energetic. But they're moving against the life of their people and feeding the strength of other races in this country to the detriment of their own lot. Well, a Harlemite, he doesn't want to give nobody nothing because he realizes that he haven't got his yet. So he doesn't even want to give a white man much. So what are we going to do? We might move to Harlem. We might move to Harlem. Yes, one day we might have to move to Harlem and demonstrate that lost carriage of the Harlemite, the black Harlem man. What is that carriage? To go out there when this meeting is over and stand out there on the corner and say, look, brother, something is happening here. You got to come away from that line. Get on the job of calling your brothers and sisters away from death, away from hopelessness, back to life. Look, all this energy to organize them behind Jesse Jackson. Knowing that this ain't nothing but a one-season thing. And a short season at that. I mean, all of us know that. The only one that doesn't know that, I mean, he's completely out of it. In fact, he's got somebody with him. They didn't even let him, he can't go along around the street by himself. So we all know this. You know it's nothing but a temporary thing, one season thing. In fact, and the wise among us, they know that it hurts us. Because we're showing America and the world that our sense of black identity is very, very shallow. That we would give all of our support to any black man just to demonstrate our grievances. We're not demonstrating our hopes. If we were demonstrating our hopes, we would have long ago said, look, Jesse, you're a good man, but you work better with the corporate America. Keep working with the corporate America to get us better positions in corporate America. But look, we need a man like the past mayor of Atlanta. We need a man with image like that and background like that. We don't want to be laughed at. This is too precious. This great step to put one of us in the president is too precious. We don't want to look like fools. We don't want to make them think we half did our work. We don't want to make them think that we'll just snatch anything black up and carry it to Washington. We don't want them to think that we are that desperate.